If you don't know me, I am the Witch of Wonderlust here on YouTube and on Instagram, and today we're going to level up your protection game. I'm going to be trying to cover a ton of information in a very short amount of time, so please bear with me. The plan is to go through a bunch of absolute basics and also touch on some intermediate things here and there. It's going to be a long one, so grab a cup of tea. Today I'm drinking this Rooibos Vanilla Chai by Adiago Teas. I will leave the link down below for that tea as well, and thank you Temperance from Wild Woman Witchcraft for sending that to me. Alright, so strap in because today's video is going to be extensive. First off, what is protection magic and why do we even need it? In its core basic is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's creating a protective energy or protective shield around a person, a situation, an item, or a space. The average person encounters negative energy on a daily basis, all the time. Anything from a dirty look in traffic to an angry client at work, even just lingering negative energy in a space that two people might have had an argument. When we start doing this energy work or any kind of spiritual work, we open ourselves up to a bunch of interactions, to unwanted energies, unwanted entities, and even other practitioners that might not have our best in mind. Protection magic is a great practice to keep up every day in the small day-to-day little things. Essentially, it's the same thing as putting on a seatbelt when you get in the car. You know that what you're doing is potentially dangerous, but you take those extra precautions to make sure that if anything does happen, you are protected in the ways that you are able to protect yourself. Now it moves on to the question, how do we protect? There are so many ways to protect ourselves, and I'm only going to be touching on a few in this video. It's important to remember to do protections after cleansing and after banishing. Otherwise, think of protections as putting up walls in your space. If you haven't cleansed your space, all the energy that is already inside will continue to reside within, and you are sealing that in. So make sure to cleanse and banish first, and then protect. I'm going to split this video into two different sections, the daily practices and full-on rituals. First, obviously we're going to start small. We're going to start with the daily practices. I can tell you right now that daily practices are a staple in any practitioner's life. This is a foundation that every practitioner should know and should be very comfortable with. And these practices are going to differ from person to person. It depends on your practice, your culture, your beliefs. It just depends. So you're going to have to build your own foundation with the things that I'm providing for you. Number one, daily practice, meditation. This requires no tools, and meditation for protection can be done by simply shielding or asking your deities, your guides, your spirits, your ancestors, whoever that you work with, to provide you with protection throughout the day. I talk about shielding in this video right here, so you can check that out. And it's also mentioned in much deeper detail in the book Psychic Witch that I also do a review here. Very simple way to keep protection throughout your day, and an easy way to customize the protection is by using sigils. Sigils can be drawn onto the skin with pens or markers. You can use sunscreen, foundation, lotion, and use them as glamours as you're getting ready in the morning. Or you can carry sigils with you in your pocket, in your car. They're commonly slipped into shoes, into your wallet, or you can draw them and put them in between your phone and the case, or you can even use them as your phone's lock screen. Charms, amulets, and talismans. Wearing protective jewelry is super common, especially with crystals, rings, bracelets, and necklaces. You'll see many people wear cross necklaces or rosaries for this exact reason, right along with a very common talisman to protect against the evil eye. I have a video on charming jewelry right here, and my friend Nike the Warrior Witch here on YouTube also has a wonderful video on charms, so click that right here too. Carrying things such as lucky charms or charm bags that have been consecrated for protection is also a very popular practice, especially among travelers. Crystals. This is also one that is booming in popularity right now. So carrying crystals, keeping crystals near your bed, wearing them as jewelry, keeping them in the car, on the desk, at the windows. Common protection crystals are black tourmaline, black obsidian, jet, and hematite. I know that there are a plethora of other protective crystals, but I'm not your crystal person. A book for reference is called The Crystal Bible, and I'll leave this one linked down below. Or check out one of the only places that I've actually ever purchased my own crystal jewelry is from Wax and Wayne. Not only are their products absolutely gorgeous, also their site will tell you the correspondence is there too. Food and drink. This is a very common practice in Christianity to bless whatever you're drinking or whatever you're eating. Pagans and magicians do this as well. You can also make food with protective properties, so charging the protective ingredients is a very popular and inconspicuous way to add protection into something mundane and daily. Tea and coffee. Y'all knew I wasn't gonna miss this one. You can make your tea and coffee with intention and charge those with protection to start off your day right or right before you go to bed. Don't worry, I'm planning on making a video about tea magic. I'm gonna add this one in here despite the fact that it's not something that I personally commonly do, but it is something that is very heavily used and very heavily known in occult practices. The lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, or also known as the LBRP. This is a really good video and instructional tutorial on how to do that. It doesn't need any tools and it's very effective and very easy as a banishing ritual. All right, so we're gonna move on to bigger rituals. These ones pack a little bit more of a punch and are usually done working with the moon, such as dark moon or full moon. Again, the days and the frequency and the event size really depends on the practitioner themselves. A common practice is washes. This will be floor washes, door and window washes. These are very common practices in folk magic and usually consists of a mixture of protective herbs mixed into a solution that is then used to wipe down the whole floor or the space, and a lot of the time the door frames and the window frames. Number 2 are baths. Baths are a very common and easy way to physically coat yourself in protective energy and in protective herbs. But again, this should only be done after cleansing or crossing work has been applied. Plants. Do you ever wonder why a lot of witches always own so many plants? When you take really good care of your plant companions, they take good care of you. They're very protective and they become kind of your house spirits. They're really good at taking the first initial hits of baneful work if anything is sent towards you. So if all of them start looking sick and you don't know what's going on, definitely do some divination. Setting up a psychic alarm system. This is actually a new part of my practice that I again learned from the book Psychic Witch by Matt Oren. This practice literally allows you to set up a psychic tripwire, essentially, that is then alerted to you if something decides to enter your space that was unwarranted. Again, his book is linked down below. Charm bag wards. They're small protective bags, either drawstrings or just cloths that have been tied together, that are usually found behind doors, under beds, hung above doorways or windows, inside cars, or carried with you. These are created and recharged and fed as needed. Again, regular upkeep can be anywhere between weekly, monthly, or even yearly sometimes. Or some people just create new ones as needed. Honestly, it just depends on how much energy that bag is given when it's created. These wards are usually created with protective and warding herbs that drive away unwanted energies, entities, and provide protection in the dream state. You can learn more about charm bags in this book. And another classic, the witch bottle. This is a very famous protective bottle spell that I have found that the ingredients have definitely been diluted to be more appealing compared to what is actually in the traditional bottle. The traditional witch bottle would usually contain things that are sharp. So thorns, needles, pins, nails. Sometimes there's shards of glass or mirrors. Some protective herbs like rosemary, clove, garlic, or angelica. And then it's filled with the urine of the practitioner, sealed with black wax, and buried in the front of the home. I know some of you are like, but that's the traditional witch bottle. The idea was that the witch bottle was buried at the entrance of your home, so that if any negative entities, negative energies, or even other practitioners that were trying to cast upon you, and this was actually to ward off witches. Witches usually wouldn't make this bottle. If they ever tried to cross that threshold, they were either distracted by the tag lock of the practitioner's urine and would aim all of the baneful energy at that, or if an actual witch were to cross over where this witch bottle was buried, they would either get incredibly sick on the spot or just die. Home talismans and wards. This can be anything from the talismans hung up to ward against the evil eye, to strands of garlic, to even wind chimes to ward off evil spirits. I've seen rocks with sigils drawn on the bottom, set in front of the doorways, sigils drawn underneath the mats of doorways, or even small mirrors placed at every corner of the home to then reflect any negative energy or entities away. And powders. These are a common one. Powders are made up of protective ingredients that are then sprinkled over the threshold of doorways to prevent anything unwanted from entering. Now again, this is only some of the ways to protect. You can get really creative with all of the things that I've listed here, so don't feel constricted and use what you have. Definitely do your research, and of course I will leave you with a bunch of resources down below and in the cards that I've linked up here. These are some closing tips that I'll leave you with. Number 1 is to always have multiple protections up. Don't just rely on one. you want to have a minimum of 3. This is why if you are protecting yourself, if you are wearing amulets and wearing wards, and you are also protecting your space and or your home, it's going to be pretty hard for something to make its way through. First off, this is stolen from one of my wonderful teachers, Jason Miller. Preventative magic is the best kind of magic. And you never know what might be headed your way, so it's always best to be doing preventative magic rather than emergency magic on a situation that could have been avoided. Now, that's not to say that emergency magic, you're a bad practitioner if you ever have to do that. It's not at all what I'm saying, but it's always best just to take precautions. Like I said in the beginning, it's like getting into a car and driving without your seatbelt. So yes, being a part of the occult, being a part of the spiritual realm and practicing magic is dangerous in a lot of different ways, but it's just like getting behind the wheel of a car. If you know how to drive a car, you went through driving school, you practiced, and you take the preventative measures such as putting on your seatbelt and checking your blind spot and paying attention to the road, you should be good. Again, I've left some great resources down below. I've left some books, other videos, and other people that you should definitely check out, but that is all for this video. If you have anything to share regarding protection magic, if you have any spells, rituals, or just tips and tricks, then please share on Instagram, use the hashtag WanderlustCoven, or you can use it here on YouTube, I think. I don't really know how YouTube works still. But yeah, that's all for today. Enjoy your spooky season, keep those protections up, and I will see you in the next video. And as always, best of luck, be kind to each other, and may your gods treat you as you've treated others. Bye.